everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is Carmina, and we are going to be talking about another card of the playing card deck. Today is the turn of the Seven of Spades. But before we get into this card, let me remind you guys to subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of videos, like over 100 videos on astrology, on card reading, and also on human design. You can also check out the other videos in this playlist. And if you are interested in the card deck that I designed, you can see it here. You can order it by following the link below. Okay, wonderful. So let's get to this Seven of Spades day. Today is actually, while we're recording this video, it's the 7th of January. And we have 3 Seven of Spades days in the year. Actually, we have 4. We have the 7th of January, the 5th of February, the 3rd of March, and the 1st of April. So April Fool's Day also happens to be a Seven of Spades day. When we see this black card, this black 7, we don't really get a cozy feeling about it. We discussed in other videos the symbolism of number 7. There are 7 deadly sins. There are 7 days of the week. There are many archetypal things in our collective consciousness related to number 7. So number 7 also is a manifestation of the planet Saturn. It would be the energy, the Saturnian energy that takes things to an end, that see things coming to a sort of destruction, but it's not a sudden accident like it would be at the 3, which has the energy of Mars, but it's something that you've seen a long time coming. So the energy of the 7 is that of finishing a cycle, is that of letting go of certain patterns that are not working. That's like the good manifestation of the 7, and not so desirable manifestation of the 7 is victimizing oneself and remaining too much stuck in the mindset of why me. Instead of letting go of what's not working, you focus too much on it and you don't want to leave it behind. So whenever we see a 7 of Spades card, it's here to teach us that we have to let go of something of ourselves, because the spade suit is the one that relates mostly to the personal self, to the person's individuality. Because also the spade suit relates to fire sign, yes, to fire signs, to the fire element. So the spade suit, it would be like Saturn in a fire sign. It would be like Saturn in Sagittarius, would be like Saturn in Leo, or Saturn in Aries. If you know about planetary friendship, you know that Saturn is debilitated in Aries, in the fire sign, so that would be the victimization mode. Saturn is also in a great, it's in an enemy sign in Leo, because the sun, the ruler of Leo, is the enemy of Saturn. So Saturn in Leo is also like a struggle for the person to understand whether they are more of the Saturnian energy of kind of being in service to something and kind of going with the changes and letting go of things. So yeah, I mean, ideally this 7 of Spades in its best manifestation would be yeah, the person sees the limitations that they are having, their bodily, their physical limitations, their psychological limitations, and just lets go of unrealistic expectations about themselves, about their bodies. So this card is it's a tough card. It's not an easy card. It's a difficult one. It's a cruel one because it has this energy of letting go of something very personal, something about the individual. But it can be also a very fulfilling card, because once we understand what the Saturn, what the sevens demand from us, then we can move on to the eights and the nines that are more rewarding on a worldly level, or even, on a spiritual level, like the Nine of Spades. So we already mentioned in other videos about number 7 that it's connected to Saturn, and Saturn is the only planet that handles elimination in the body. So it helps us remove toxins, it helps us remove things that the body cannot use, so that, that the body cannot assimilate, so that the body functions well. So whenever you see this card, this number 7, just think of that, I am eliminating something that's no longer serving me. This would kind of be like the 7 of Spades mantra. But it's not easy, of course, because the number 7 is about detachment from something that is very close to us, that is very near us, and that our ego wants to cling on. So of course it's not going to be easy. So you should honor, you should respect the mourning period, the lamentation period on whatever it is that you're losing at the 7 of Spades. But after that period, you should be able to move on. You should get over it. You should think that, okay, that was in the bigger picture, that was better for me to let it go. Or if you suffer a loss, what can you do about it? If you torment yourself, you won't be able to move further. You're just going to be stuck at this very painful stage of 7 of Spades. In Tarot Major Arcana, the black sevens correspond to the falling tower. So again, this symbolism of something that's not working anymore, something that needs to be let go of, something that brings, of course, with it some pain, some letting go that implies pain. It's a difficult card. I think it's one of the most difficult sevens. I think the most difficult, all sevens are difficult. Who am I kidding? I think personally that the 7 of clubs is the least difficult, because the clubs are the air element, and Saturn does well in air signs, does better in air signs than it does in, fire signs or water signs. So I would say this is, it's a painful stage, but it's a stage. Whenever you see this card, you know that, it's not the end of everything. You know that the 7 energy is part of the King of Spades energy, which is the greatest finisher. So when you see it, it's like, okay, your flame isn't burning as brightly as other people's flames. Other people's flames are shining brighter than yours, and your flame is kind of flickering. And I'm using this metaphor of the flame because, of course, spades are related to the fire element. So your flame is kind of flickering. It's not what it used to be. But you have to accept your humanity. You have to accept your human condition, your limitations, and, just let it go. Let go of this pain of that you want to maybe cling on to. Yes? and try to let go and move on towards the Eight of Spades, which is a self-exploratory, self-validating stage, and then the Nine of Spades, which is surrendering, a more spiritual surrender, and sacrificing, surrendering to work, to your life's work. Yes, if we think about the underlying and overlying cards for the Seven of Spades, we know that the underlying card is the King of Diamonds and the overlying card is the Eight of Hearts. So the King of Diamonds is what stands in the past of this Seven of Spades. It's something that this energy comes from. So it comes from the materialization, the embodiment of a person that is very skilled with finances. It's very good at their material, at handling their material affairs and with their concrete skills. It can also be a charitable person, but then the person kind of has a breakdown moment at the Seven of Spades. So that's why the cards are not good or bad. Yes, it is what it is. It is the present. It is a manifestation of energy. Life can't be linear and always pleasant. So if we don't have the malefics, the cruel planets, if we don't have, Pluto, Mars, Saturn, the nodes, we can't really evolve because we would be too stuck in our own comfort. So this King of Diamonds becomes the Seven of Spades. And then when the Seven of Spades energy is fully manifested, then it naturally aspires towards becoming the Eight of Hearts. And the Eight of Hearts is emotional self-validation, is comfort with the love within. So it's not bad, right? It's the future is not so cruel for this Seven of Spades person, but the only thing that they need to understand when you see a Seven of Spades is just, okay, don't victimize yourself. This is the reality of the situation. Saturn is a very realistic planet. It's not sugarcoating things. You see like a breakdown of yourself. You see a breakdown of your work, a breakdown of your body. But from that breakdown, there can be emotional self-satisfaction. Okay? Okay, so now let's check out a little bit the Seven of Spades birth spread. If you are a Seven of Spades birth card, then your path is that of a Queen of Hearts. That can sound pretty paradoxical, yes, because the Seven of Spades is born with this knowledge that they are mortal, that they are human, that life is a very precious thing, that life is fragile, because of course Saturn, which manifests the Seven, is also the planet that, brings about death in the end. The deity associated to Saturn in Vedic pantheon is also Yama, the god of death. So this Saturnian energy, this person who is born with this with this clarity about their human condition, has the path of the nourisher, of the caregiver, of the emotional protector, which is the Queen of Hearts. It has the path of the mothering energy. And this can show that the person is very connected to their mother. Their mother is very much part of their path, or women or people who have this energy of the caretaker. And also that they themselves have to be a caretaker, a nourisher for other people. So I think this can also be correlated to the fact that Saturn has the energy of survival. So it has this death quality, but Saturn also has the survival of the species instinct. So from this kind of tense, this kind of fear of extinction, comes this mothering instinct path of the Queen of Hearts. If we look at the rest of the spread, we also see other two hearts. We see the overlying card, the Eight of Hearts on the Saturn card, and that is particularly important because it's the seventh card in the spread, and whenever we have the birth card, a 7, we look at the seventh card for emphasis, and it's further emphasized because it's the overlying card. So these people really need to work on their emotional self-sufficiency. They need to be the caregivers for other people, like the Queen of Hearts, but they also need to not expect validation, emotional validation in return. We also see another nice 4 in their spread on the Mercury card. We see the 4 of Hearts, which also has a nurturing quality because it can relate to a home that you are inspired with. It can relate to a stability, a serenity, a peace of the heart, of feelings. So the way they choose their friends is very emotionally based. They want to feel cozy with their friends. They want to feel like they're at home when they're in company of their friends. And the way they organize things is also very emotionally based. They want emotional serenity. And that's more emphasized because the 4 of Hearts is an integral part of the Queen of Hearts energy, which is their path. We also see they have 2 2s. They have the healing 2 of Spades on the Venus card. So that is what they like, what they seek in relationships is, you know, they seek from relationship, they seek a sort of physical and psychological healing. They see the relationship as remedies. And we also see their kingdom they are building. That's the Sun card, is the 2 of Clubs. So they are continually learning all throughout their lives. They are coming together with ideas. They are dialoguing. They are conversing with new ideas. They are pursuing education, and they are doing intellectual collaborations with people. They also have 2 face cards in the first 7 cards. So that's really good because the face cards are more powerful. They have the King of Clubs there, which means that their childhood was influenced by a person of high intellectual authority, of high intellectual skill. That's their early environment, and that's also how they adapt to life, how they adapt to the changes of life by trying to become this person who's also a bit maybe more impersonal. You know, they can seem that they are impersonal, but they also have a lot of hearts. So this is just their adaptation strategy when they seem that they are more cold, when they are more impersonal. It's just a strategy for them to adapt to life, because all these hearts in their spread, of course, it matters where their ascendant is, where their ascendant lord is, where their soul planet is. So this is just a piece of the puzzle, what I'm presenting right now about the birth card. You have to look at all the details if you want to give a better description of the person's makeup. They also have the Jack of Diamonds there on the Mars card, so it shows that they can be good business people in times of situations, in times of conflict. They are good at showing. They are good at negotiating their way out of a conflict. They are good at showing the worth of a situation. So that's how they surmount accidents, conflicts, obstacles. And we have that Jupiter card is a little problematic there, because the 4 of Diamonds is stability, material stability. And it's kind of averted there because it's on the 5th card, the Jupiter card. However, if Jupiter is also on a card that is mismatched, for instance, Jupiter is also here in the 4 of Diamonds Jupiter card, it helps. It can help overcome the troubles of the card. And we also have to see the avashtas, the planetary conditions of Jupiter. In this example, it's with Venus, and Venus is the enemy of Jupiter, so Jupiter is a bit impaired there. Yeah, so they have trouble finding homes that are a good deal, you know, that's going to be a recurring theme for them, and finding material stability, like finding peace with their material comfort. However, they also have the nice 8 of Diamonds on the Neptune card, and they are able to bring value from within and create financial opportunities from themselves, but it has to be from within without seeking validation. That's how they should create their financial life, and in that way they will also bond deeper to the world. They have a very interesting makeup there with the nodes, because the south node is the 6 of Spades, so they come from a past life when they were very very concerned with their physical health, and now they will be more concerned with their intellectual validation, the 6 of Clubs. They have to seek that in order to balance the south node energy, but it's a 6, so it's all about validation, but it's more intellectual versus physical, or for the self, for the individuality. We also see the 10 of Clubs on the Uranus card, so they can make magical things happen for the collective there. Of course, it also depends where Uranus is and other factors, but they have this capacity. And we see on the Pluto card that King of Spades there, that's the ultimate ego basher, and Pluto has the King energy, so it's the best card that you could have on the Pluto card, and especially for a 7 of Spades. So they have this capacity. They are strong people. They have this capacity of letting go of painful situations, of patterns that are dragging them down, and by that way they can pursue their path of nourishing other people, which is the Queen of Hearts. So that's about it for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Check out the other videos in the series, because I don't always say the same things. You know, sometimes I talk more about the numerological aspects, other times more about symbolism. So you can check out the other 7 cards in the series. You can check out the other videos also on the correspondence between Arcana cards and the cards of truth. If you want to take classes with me, I'm gonna start a series of classes on the 19th of January. We're gonna be looking at things more in depth, so it will not be an absolute beginner course. It would be more towards intermediate level. And if you want a reading, you can always contact me for readings. And these are my cards. You can get yourself a deck, and it will help you better understand the explanations, because the way that they are drawn, they are very correlated to the energy of each of the numbers and each of the suits. With that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow with the 6 of Spades. Enjoy your day, and bye.